Inside the Maze, and we're back with another dose of the Critical Breakdown. It's your girl, Ms. Mo Filla, and come on, we are on site. We're doing new things this year, you understand me? We're on site at the Muse, right in Roxbury, with the one and only visual artist, Trevis, AKA Trev City. I'm gonna throw it out there,
Okay,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Say what's happening, bro.
I'm doing good.
You feeling good?
For sure.
You happy to be here today?
Definitely.
I'm happy to be in your space today. I'm really excited that you invited us here. And we're gonna go over his multiple pieces, a part of his thought-provoking art collection.
You got it.
It's the Critical Breakdown, man. Let's get to it. All right, so the moment I walked in your gallery, the first piece that caught my eye was this piece over in this section called Make a Stand. Can you tell me the story behind that?
I was trying to do different mediums,
Okay.
right? So I got into this whole collaging thing. And you know, everyone knows about the Black Lives Matter movement.
Right.
And struggle Black folks been dealing with or whatever. So I was able to use images and paste them on each other and really get it to look like it's all one piece in the back.
Okay.
And then I had the image that I wanted to put on top of it. And the image on top is the Black woman and she's confronting or making a stand in front of the police.
Okay, and it's funny that you even mentioned that because when I first caught it, I saw the depths, but I didn't realize just how many layers there were to that piece. So you can literally see the collage underneath and then the pieces build from underneath, on top of that, which is really dope. Now tell there's a little bit of controversy about this piece, right?
Yeah, so I was part of this, I'm part of this group called it's Black Men's Art Collaborative, BMAC.
Okay, B-Mac. Shout out to B-Mac.
So it was my first real show with my work.
Okay.
And we got invited to do a show at the Boston Public Library. So the lady who curated the show, she was able to look at the work prior to. Asian lady, I want to say that first.
Make sure you make that clear.
Asian lady.
Okay.
Right? I'm not sure which type of Asian she was. I don't want to be disrespectful. She wasn't Asian.
Asian persuasion.
Asian persuasion.
There we go.
I don't want to offend nobody. So she liked all my work. The day of the show, she called me and said the library wouldn't let her hang it.
Wow.
Saying that the people who worked at the library, who ran the library, was like the piece was too controversial. And I asked her, it was this piece and another piece, and she was just basically saying that she didn't want anything portraying the police in a negative light.
Because God forbid we actually tell the truth.
Yeah, I'm saying, right, exactly. Like art is what we're supposed to be. Art is really supposed to make you think about something.
Exactly.
Art is supposed to make you feel something. So this is the type of energy I was on. There's a lot of this work kind of talks about that, the struggle of being Black in America. And I realized first I wasn't going to do the show at first.
Okay.
Just because the other brothers in the group were kind of upset, like, oh, we shouldn't do the show. I'm like, listen, I want people to see y'all's work. So they made me just replace that with something else.
Okay, but the message still got out there because if you look at all his pieces, there's definitely a message in every single one of them. Notice we say thought-provoking, okay?
Yeah.
Now tell us how you got into artistry and all the painting. First of all, let me just put it all out there. If anybody knows Trevis, AKA Trev City, he's an artist of multiple disciplines, okay? This man has done music, videography, all of the above. So he's an overall artist. But tell me, when did you get into
visual art?
Visual art, let's call it that, right?
Yeah, I guess as a young person, I always did art. And I wound up going to the museum school, which is the Museum of Fine Arts. They have a school.
Dope.
I got accepted based on my art.
Dope.
So I went to art school. Actually, me and Joe Politics went to college together.
Shout out to Joey, Brother Joey.
Politics, you know what I'm saying?
I'm sorry, I always call him Brother Joey everywhere. It doesn't matter.
Joe Politics, you know what I'm saying? Polymore Music Group.
All day, baby.
Music,
Make sure you holler at them.
Ray Robinson.
Was it Cyrus the Shield? Listen, all
Cyrus,
of them.
exactly. All of them, right. I'm with them too.
Stanley, baby.
Yeah, so we went to school together, visual arts. But what happened was when I went to school for visual arts, this is the late 90s, mid 90s, and videos was hot. Hype Williams. You know what I'm saying? Spike Lee was making movies. Black folks we was making videos. I started making music videos.
Okay.
So that's really what happened. And we started making music videos.
So what turned you back to the canvas?
So I started, I think, really seeing what we was going through. You know, the whole Black Lives Matter movement, and black folks was really struggling. And I think social media makes it worse too. Social media is a good thing and a bad thing, right? So the good thing is that we learn about all this information, right? We get all this information. The bad part is we really get to see how bad it is. You know what I'm saying? In other states, we get the information right away, immediately. So back when we was younger, we didn't know what was going on in Houston. We didn't know what was going on in St. Louis, Phoenix, or whatever. Now we know.
Yeah. Speaking of that, you had another piece up here where you specifically were highlighting the major cities that had the most killings by police officers. Is that correct?
Yeah. In the piece, Racially Profiled, is just basically, I talked about all the cities that have the highest rates of police brutality. So we don't really think about like Minneapolis. We don't really think about Phoenix, St. Louis, just because we don't live there.
Exactly.
It's bad there.
Like you said, but like thanks to social media, we're all connected. And like I said, it's a good and a bad thing, but I think it's good in this case because we needed to be made aware just how bad the state of America is, not just the state that we live in. And your whole entire piece is, there's this one other piece that caught my eye too, and you even pointed it out to me, where it's like this picture of people drowning under the city. Is that, if I interpreted that right?
Yeah, I mean, it's just, I thought about our city and, how black folks is really like drowning in the city. Like a lot of people don't really understand the fact that like Massachusetts is rated one of the most racist cities.
Whew, talk about it. That quiet racism, right?
Yeah, and it's been racist for so long that we just think it's normal. You know what I mean? And so the way they do it is different here just because it doesn't have to be physical.
Nope.
It can be mental, it can be financial. They find new ways to do it. So they make it so you can't afford to live in your neighborhood no more.
Access, they cut off
You
your
feel me?
access.
They start bringing the rent up so you're forced to move outside the city. For the elderly people, what they're doing is, elderly people might not have a young person to go out and do the yard work or take out the trash or whatever. The city starts finding them and giving them charges and tickets until eventually they lose their house.
Yep, or insurance rates start going up, things like that. Or
they can't afford, they find ways to take the neighborhoods away. And until we as a people decide to put our money together and start buying it up, it's gonna happen all the time.
Talk about that part, listen. And I think that's a big theme with Polymore, with the family, with the muse. Like it's really about Black empowerment and understanding the power lies within us.
Yeah, we own this space.
Period.
So I want y'all to understand that.
Ain't no renting.
So you can't kick us out.
Okay. This is a Black-owned building and establishment.
Yeah, exactly. Not just the space, the building. You say that again.
It's a Black-owned
building.
Exactly.
So it's different, and I think that's the kind of energy we need to be on. And I think through my work, I try to talk about that.
Yeah.
And this is, when I say black folks, brown folks, we all together in this.
Exactly, black and brown.
We all together in this. And I really think it's important for us to really start working together. Stop worrying about what other folks are doing.
And focus on ourselves and depend on ourselves. You understand me? Now listen, Trev, we can go on all day long about the Black and brown.
I'm sorry.
That's
what
my heart is. That's what my heart is too. You feel me?
Sure.
But listen, I want you to let everybody know where they can find you and your work.
Yeah, so right now my show, I got some work up here at the Muse, 336 Blue Hill Ave, Roxbury, Massachusetts. I got a show coming up on the 25th of this month. It's gonna be Arts in the Park in Cambridge.
Nice.
I'm gonna be selling a few little work like that. Besides that, I'm not sure yet. So here's my story. I want to tell this story.
Okay, let's get the story.
Quick story. So that show I told you about, the Boston Public Library, that was my first official real show.
Okay.
And the reason why that was, is I was just creating work and it was just in my house. I really didn't have no plan on showing it. It was just, I feel a kind of way at night and I make some work.
Wow. Okay.
And it was just sitting. So a good friend of mine by the name of Matt Parker.
Okay.
You know Matt? Matt does poetry and all kind of stuff. He's a community activist.
Okay.
He's part of this collaborative. He does photography, dope photography. And he was like, what are you doing with this work? And he's at my house. I was like, I don't know. He put me in the show. That's how it happened.
Dope.
And because of that experience and the Copley saying this work was a little too much for us, that's when I knew I was on the right track.
Right. You know when you're ruffling
feathers. That's when I knew what I was doing you know what I'm saying, was what people really wanted to talk about. And so that's why I do what I do.
And your social media pages, do you put your stuff up on social media?
I mean, sometimes if you go to, Trev City on Instagram, you're gonna see a lot of pictures of me and my kid. You know what I'm saying? Most people know me because my kid is always with me.
Right, the flyest kid on the block.
Exactly,
you understand me?
you know what I'm saying? Young city, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's really what it is. And it's crazy about that too is that because my son is always with me, he's in pictures with me all the time. And it's crazy how many people stop me on the street and thank me for doing that.
I was about to say,
you shouldn't thank me for something I'm supposed to be doing. You shouldn't thank me for being with my kid, you know what I'm saying? But I'm talking about one time I was out at this establishment and this man stopped me. I'm black in the community. And I wasn't sure why he stopped me, but he was like, I seen your page. I knew I was gonna run into you. I just want to thank you
for being a dad.
Exactly, for what you're doing with your kid. And I didn't think about it, like, I'm just doing what I do, but a lot of people tell me, we have been fed the narrative that it doesn't happen, right? We've been fed the narrative that black men don't take care of their kids.
I mean, we've been fed the narrative, but I can speak from experience.
Yeah.
I've seen black men raise their children, but I also have seen the other side too, where I didn't have examples for a very long time. I think our generation was the generation to make it very clear, no, we do take care of our kids.
For sure.
No, we don't abandon them, and we're very active in their lives. So I'm gonna tell you thank you, even though you feel like you don't deserve it, thank you for perpetuating that story, because we need more black dads to show that we're out here, bro. We're out here.
And speaking about that, I'm not gonna tell you when, but it's coming. I'm doing a book about that. So
Didn't I say this man is an artist?
Soon come.
All disciplines, listen.
Sure, I'm gonna do a book about it. It's coming.
We could chat all day, Trev, but listen, I want you guys to follow me, Ms. Mophila, MZMOPHILA on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. Make sure you follow my website, MsMophila.com. Keep track of everything I got going on. And while you're at it, make sure you follow Inside the Maze on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. And make sure you like, you follow, and subscribe. Hit that little notification bell down at the bottom so you can keep track of what we got going on. It's Inside the Maze, the critical breakdown. Ms. Mophila, Trevis, AKA Trev City in the building.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming. I love you. Peace out.